Welcome to Mojo Talks, where we explore the world through stories. I'm Mayur Channagere, visual storyteller and your host. Today we have someone who truly lives life in full throttle. A passionate biker, adventurer, foodie, music lover, and professionally he is an architect and a designer at Kumar Swamy and Associates, who sees world through both with creativity and curiosity. Harsha Shivakumar, sir, welcome to this conversation and a conversation on the beaches of Ratnagiri has finally culminated to this conversation today.
I know, it's quite a journey. It's been quite a journey.
So you grew up in Bangalore, your family has been from Bangalore. And what were your old memories? Because that's something that you fondly talk about.
Yes, you see, I've lived all my life in Bangalore. I've never, unlike a lot of friends who have gone out and studied or gone out and worked in other countries, in other cities, I've never left Bangalore for any lengthy period of time. I don't think even a month I've been out of Bangalore.
Okay.
So I've seen Bangalore grow. And my early memories, see, we lived on Museum Road, which is parallel to St. Mark's Road. I've learned how to cycle on St. Mark's Road. Can you imagine my father holding the back of my cycle and teaching me in front of Boring Institute today? That's it's impossible. Plaza, Imperial, Blue Moon, Blue Diamond, they were all just a walk, 5 minutes walk from home. I remember many times Dad would come home from the club at 8:45 in the night. Some new John Wayne movie would be running. And two of us would decide at 9 to go for a movie. And Imperial, we would just walk down, watch a movie and come back at 11 o'clock. So movies, then Ravindra Kalakshetra was very close by. My mother was from the stage. So she acted she used to be part of a group called Nataranga. So C.R. Simha, Mr. Lokesh, Girish Karnad, B.V. Karan, these were all people with whom we grew up. I grew up as a young person. And at home, we used to live in an outhouse of a very large bungalow. We used to live in an outhouse on Museum Road. And there used to be a cherry tree next to our house. And under the cherry tree, we have spent so many evenings of music. Mr. C. Ashwath,
Wow.
Lokesh uncle, they would all sit and sing. And I still remember Ambrish uncle and Vishnuvardhan would come home. Vishnuvardhan would have one red color Herald car. And they'd come home in the evening for around 7 o'clock. And my dad would immediately open half a bottle of Old Monk rum. And they would go around the corner and pick up half a tandoori chicken, and one party would break out. So Amma would make omelette and toast for these two fellows. So life was like that, and nobody was unwelcome. Anybody landed up at home unannounced, and it would always be. It's never that we were busy for anybody. We always had time, and that's a philosophy I have taken forward in my life. I always have time, no matter what. If you call me tomorrow and say, let's have a cup of coffee, I'll break away from what I'm doing and very happily come and have a cup of coffee with you. Because I realize that work will be there, but that coffee won't come again.
True.
You won't come again, that coffee won't come again. And so that has been a part and parcel of my philosophy, is to live life as it is.
That's so beautifully said. You know, actually come to think of it, now everything has become, we are living life based on the calendar.
So I'll give you a small example of this. I was in my 3rd standard. I was studying in St. Anthony's School. And one day at 9 o'clock in the morning, I look out of the door. I can see Dad standing there. And he's talking to the teacher. So I thought, usually you think when father comes at 9 in the morning, something really bad has happened. Somebody's passed away or something like that. So teacher said, Harsha, go with your father. I put all my books in the bag and walked with him. And the walk from the car from the class to the car was about maybe 3 minutes. He didn't say a word. And I quietly walked behind him with my head down, thinking something has happened. Go and sit in the car. He presses the newspaper into my hand and points out, saying, look. And what do I see? I see a photograph of Shivan Samudra in full flow.
Okay.
So it dawned on me. Dad's taking me to see Shivan Samudra.
Wow.
This is on a working day. He has work. I have school. And we go to my uncle's factory in Indranagar, pull him out of his factory, We go to Bryant Square where my friend was studying. We pull him, these two fellows go pull him out of class. And by 11 o'clock, we are in Shivan Samudra.
Oh, wow.
The Kanakpura road, those days, was just a village road. This is, I'm talking in the 70s. And we landed up there. The river was in full flow. If you see if you remember the Kollegal bridge today, you must have gone past it many times. The water must have been about 3 inches below the river bridge. And there is one more bridge which they built to the Barachuki Fall, which was not there in those days. It was just the Tipu Sultan stone bridge. And the water was actually flowing over the bridge. Wow. So we were not sure whether we could go across. But a BTS bus, one of these KSRTC bus came and crossed it. So Dad also went. The thing is, that's the thing which we grew up in. That, hey, school will be there. Office will be there. But Shivan Samudra won't be there again.
Will not flow like
it won't flow. When it is flowing, you got to be there. So that's the kind of atmosphere I grew up in. So I don't think I ever took my profession too seriously. I don't think I ever took life too seriously. I was always up to all kinds of mischief. I took my mischief very seriously. Let me put it like that. I took my mischief very, very seriously. And even today I am like that. And today, at the drop of a hat, somebody calls me on Friday, let's go to Ooty tomorrow. Yes, I'll load up my bike and I'm ready to go with you. I have Saturday, Sunday, I have no agendas.
Must be very liberating to have that thought process.
Yeah, but here I'll assure you, there's one thing which I have to tell you is I've had a wife and a girlfriend. First she was my girlfriend, then became my wife, who has understood these things.
Yeah.
She has understood that this fellow is a maverick. And she has let me do this. Because without her support, it would not have been possible.
I totally agree with you.
Because I still remember about 8 years back when I restarted biking, I was looking for a bike. So I went to the Royal Enfield showroom. They said, you pay the whole amount of money and we'll give you a bike in 6 months' time. I said, look, I'm not going to wait for such a long time. Then another friend told me a good bike is available of all the places in Bangalore Golf Club. So a friend of mine, Bambi Randhawa, he had a bike, a 1400cc Gixxer. It was parked there, so I took Sanchali and went there. And he pulled off the covers and this beautiful looking inline 1400cc street bike. It looked so gorgeous. And I was standing there and saying, no chance, man. But the voice behind me said, what the hell, you live only once, go for it. That was her. So I bought it and then I restarted biking. And from there, it's gone on. It's been like, in the last 8 years, maybe more than 2 lakh kilometers of riding.
Wow.
So
2 lakhs.
At least.
I mean, that would literally mean that you've seen every nook and corner
of South India.
South India.
I am a very hardcore Kannadiga, a hardcore Karnataka man, and a hardcore South Indian. Not for me, this fancy Leh, Ladakh. I'll get there someday, but right now I'm discovering South India. And I still have it.
So that's the thing. Every time, whenever I see your social media posts or whenever we chatted, I speak to you in the afternoon. I say, Nodana, or we would have had a conversation. By evening, I can see your post saying, okay, I'm heading off.
Yes.
So here's the question I have. For someone to just decide and leave, that means your gear, your bike has to be, or your riding gear and your bikes have to be in top shape. And today, most of the times when there are a lot of people who want to ride, and it's always like, 3 months I'll plan madana, 6 months we'll plan, and the bike is never ready. Are we missing out something there?
Yeah, in the sense, you see, it's like anything. It's like you running this organization. If one camera is not working, you have another camera. If one cameraman doesn't come, you have a backup. So riding is also like that. If you give it the same interest, if you give it the same commitment, it'll work. The thing is, people are not committed to it. I'll see, I'll come. The worst thing that you get back is, you get in a conversation is, I'll get back to you. That is a surefire get lost. That's a surefire. Whenever anybody says, I'll get back to you, I just put the phone off and I never call that person again as far as that particular issue is concerned. Because I know he or she is not coming. And today, in today's parlance, that otherwise, and also, people are looking at, there is this term called ROI. People are looking at ROI for everything. What will I get if I go on this ride? Who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows? That I will meet you on the beaches of Ratnagiri. Who knew?
Knew. Correct.
And that we'll be coming and sitting here. Who knew? Can there be a script for this? There can't be. But then you have to be ready to go with the script when it comes up. And that in a nutshell is biking. You should be ready to go at the drop of a hat. Then only you get the true essence of biking.
And biking is not just about the destination. It's not A to B. It's that whole journey, that experience.
You have had a guest here before, Prakash Sontake.
Yes.
Now, Prakash and I, we keep on. In fact, even now, I went to Vidyarthi Bhavan and then came here. So whenever I'm in Bangalore South, I meet him. And one day we were talking and he was asking me, Harsha, when you go on these rides and when you reach where you go, what do you do? I said, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. So then he said, what's it all about? I said, I'm very just happy to be sitting on my bike somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, and I'm very happy. So he went away, and the next time he sent me a WhatsApp where he wrote a song called Musafir. The words of the song goes like this: बढ़ता कारवां है, रुकता ये कहाँ, मंजिल जब सफर हो तो जाना है कहाँ.
Wow.
And he released this song. It came as part of his album called Satrang,
Correct.
where in the video he in fact even shot some video footage of me and he put me up there also. I said, sir, what are you doing? He said, no, Harsha, this is I feel true traveling.
So true. I mean, so also it's one is that solo experience, right? I mean, though you might ride with a pack, you might ride with a couple of people, sometimes solo also. But when you're on the bike, it is you, your thoughts. And people talk a lot about the mental peace, the silence with your thoughts, and it clears your head many times. But at the same time, riding also tests your physical endurance, right? You got to be in shape.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not just talking physically, but mentally, you got to be alert. So it is not just the thing of unwinding. It's also a way of keeping your mind alert.
See, the other day I was talking to 4 youngsters in the office. You can travel you can take a plane, you can take a bus, you can take a train, you can take a car. But in all these, you are not in charge of the travel. If you are driving, fine, there is some amount, but there is still disturbance. Your air conditioning is on. Probably your child is crying in the car, or your dog is shitting or doing some nonsense, and you are disturbed. Whereas on the motorcycle, your entire being comes to here. And motorcycling is very unforgiving. If you take your eye off the road for even half a second, you are part of the scenery very quickly. So when you land up where you go, you come in a very heightened state of focus. Now Gol Gumbaz looks much nicer. The Halebid Belur temples look much prettier. Not because of the fact that you might come in an S-Class Mercedes, but you will come distracted. You come on an RX-100, you will come completely focused. Your being is there. And when you see that temple, take off your gear and you go in, and it's a completely different experience, which is very difficult to explain. But that's probably the reason why I have traveled so much on bike, because that's the best place to be. And that's the best place to see also. So that I have found traveling, like for instance, if I can I bounce into one by a story?
Yeah, please.
I heard 2 French architects were presenting a book on the Deccan Islamic architecture in Maximilla Bhavan in Indranagar. My friend told me, so 2 of us had nothing to do. We quietly wandered across and were sitting and listening, and I was shocked. Either in college I had not paid attention, which probably might have been the case, or our college had not taught us these things. And I realized that Bijapur, Bidar, Aurangabad, so many places Ahmednagar. There is such rich architecture which has not been discussed in college at all. And I was actually angry. So I went and bought the book. Cost a fair bit of money, but I bought the book, sat with two youngsters in my office and said, boys, 15 days we are on a road trip. We are going to see this. I have 5 bikes, so I gave them 2 of my bikes. And one bike I rode. I had a Versys. They 2 fellows rode with me. And we decided that we will disappear for 15 days. Yes, there were some murmurs in the office, but then that's okay. That's part of the game. Yeah. And we went from here to Chitradurga, Durga to Bijapur, Bijapur to Bidar, Bidar to Aurangabad, Aurangabad to Ajanta, Ellora. From there we came to Pune, Pune to Hubli, and came back to Bangalore. So this is why we were on the road for almost 14 days. Now, 2-3 things we were experimenting. One is to see that the budget is really tight. So the 3 of us would share a room. The 2 fellows would get the bed, I would get the floor. Because I refused to sleep next to those 2 smelly buggers. Not that I was any less smelly, but we were on the floor. And each place, our budget was no more than 1,000 rupees a night.
Wow, okay.
So, and in Bidar it was really hilarious in the sense, we went and asked him for a room. He said, I'll give you. He gave us a room. Now, that room had a Indian water closet. I have a bad knee. I had an accident and I have a bad knee, so I can't sit down to use the toilet. So we went down and said, can you give us a room with a European water closet? Promptly says, oh, you want a deluxe room. The only difference between the regular room and the deluxe room was the type of toilet. But then that's how the world works. And that was a princely sum of 100 rupees more. So for 1,000 rupees, we got a deluxe room. So like this, we had phenomenal experience in Bijapur, for instance. We saw the Gol Gumbas. Then Gol Gumbas itself is such a fascinating structure, but not talked about at all. Because according to me, in India, it's the most beautiful engineering feat we have. The dome is 157 feet. Even today, nobody has built a 157 feet dome in masonry. The basic unit of construction is just a brick.
Correct.
And the masonry is just lime. And they have spanned 157 feet.
And it has lasted.
And how? Even today, the Whispering Gallery is an engineering marvel.
True.
I remember one of my visits, I had climbed up, I was sitting on one of the benches and it was a weekday because I was designing a school in Bagalkote, which is some 40 kilometers from Bijapur. So I was sitting on one of the benches on top, just in the dome, and there were 3-4 college boys on the other side of the dome shouting and screaming, thinking it was an echo chamber. I started a conversation with them. They are 157 feet away from me. I started, boys, this is not a place to shout. They could not figure out who is talking. I messed with them so badly, they thought their forefather's ghost has come. In Kannada, and all this went on in Kannada. Quietly, they left the place. Then I had the whole of Gol Gumbas to myself. Enjoyed 1 hour sitting there. Quietly got down and came home and had a hearty laugh about it. Then you see the Ibrahim Ruza. If you see Ibrahim Ruza, it's a precursor to the Taj Mahal.
Oh.
Again, nobody knows about this. It is a study in symmetry. And it's a very, very rare place where a mosque and a mausoleum are next to each other. Most of the time, you'll either see a mausoleum or a mosque. But Ibrahim Ruza is one place where both are there. And another device which I saw in Bijapur and the Muslim architecture is water. They use water to cool everything down. The whole of Ibrahim Ruza is built like a tank. The water is just about 1.5 feet deep. That's all. You can walk through it.
Okay.
But it cools down the whole place tremendously. And another device which I realized which it is doing is, while you stand there, you see the reflection of it. The depth of the structure becomes double. Because the structure reflects in the water. See, you never realized all these things.
And this is something which you never learned in school.
We learnt it, but through Western devices. The Louvre, you see the architecture of Paris. This was done way before that. But nobody credits this. Everybody says that was great, but then there was something here which was there way before. Then you have something like the Sangeet Mahal, which is in Bijapur again. It's an 8,000-seater amphitheater. Because one of the Adil Shahs was a musician. And if you go and see it, it's an octagonal shape. The stage is there, and there is water right in front of the stage. The water is used to bounce sound. So there are so many devices which we have experimented with, especially the Deccan Sultans. But again, nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to even give it credit. Then from there we went to Bidar. Bidar, you go and see there is a place called the Muhammad Gawan Madrasa.
Okay.
Now Madrasa as a subject has become we have run it down.
Correct.
But when you read about this, Muhammad Gawan was the Prime Minister of the Bidar court. He built this university. And this university was concurrent with Cambridge and Oxford. Cambridge and Oxford came up in the 13th century. Muhammad Gawan Madrasa came up in the 12th century.
Wow.
The scholars from Persia would come to teach in this university. It looks like a university building. It has classrooms, it has conference rooms, it has a courtyard, it has a fountain. If you go and see it, it's so beautiful.
And the whole structure is still there.
Most of it is there. Some of it is gone.
But not run down or...
No. It's still there. You can actually see it.
Wow.
Then, of course, the place that blew my mind away was Ajanta. The caves are like, what possessed these fellows? What possessed these fellows? To find see, because if you look at the rock face, at some point in the middle, they go into the rock about 150 feet in depth, 100 feet in depth. How do they know where to carve it out? How do they know it won't collapse?
Correct.
And there are about 40 caves. Not one has collapsed. Not one has failed. So where is the technology?
And it's centuries old.
Yes. It was done in the 3rd century, 4th century. These things were done. And they've all stood up there. And after that, if you look at the carvings they've mimicked ribs of wood. They've mimicked pillars. They've mimicked stone heads, lion heads. Didn't they have anything better to do?
Maybe they didn't.
They didn't. Because each one of these caves would have taken nothing less than 20, 30 years to make.
And they had... Okay, let me rephrase. I was about to say something. I was about to say that they didn't have the technology today that we have, but they probably had better technology and understanding of the natural elements.
I'll clarify that. They probably did not have the technology we have, but they had a lot more imagination.
Imagination.
Today, though we have phenomenal technology, that is our limitation. We can't think beyond that. Dagalapa.
First reaction.
Why? Because the other biggest killer in architecture, it's never been done like that. It's never. See, you can kill a man, you can kill a design, you can kill a thought process by just saying it's never been done like that. So if you don't want to do something, that's the sentence that you use. True. Like for instance, when we were designing, I got involved to do a design competition when I first started my career, the Malyaditi school. And at that time, I was spending time in a village called Melkote. Because somebody had told me that Sanskrit is a spoken language and it's a fabulous place. My Sanchali and I would quietly take our RX100 and go there every weekend just to spend time. One is, of course, you want to take your girlfriend out somewhere. That's also an excuse. But the village also was so beautiful that we were spending time there. And there used to be one small tea shop. One auntie, one old lady, she used to sell tea. Two of us would go there and sit there and drink tea. And it had this little veranda. So we would sit on that veranda. Then we saw this little boy. And then the Melkota temple is there, very famous temple.
Correct.
We saw this little Brahmin boy just with a veshti. He comes out of the temple and he goes running. He goes, he disappears, he appears again, he disappears again, he appears again. But he knows exactly where he's going. So then we realized children are far more confident than adults. If they are used to something, they will work with it. We are busy telling others it should not be like this.
Very true.
So we brought that whole philosophy to the Aditi design, where we said, hell with all convention. Let's think like a child and let's design for a child.
Wow.
Fortunately, we had the jurors who understood what we were trying to do. And today that building stands.
Yeah, and that's a magnificent building.
Some
I've been there.
35 years later, it stands. And it is based on auntie's shop and the cup of teas.
You
And-
never know where inspiration hits you, right?
Yes. That is the reason why. That is the reason why you should be open to life. That is the reason why you should be open to any thought, like anything that's outside your ordinary. Hey, I'm going to office, nothing's going to inspire me.
In the four walls.
Yes. Yes, I will do some good work there, but then I need to bring that idea from somewhere. Melkote, yes.
I mean, Melkote temples us. That's itself is.
Melkote temple, Melkote village, the way the... See, I've been mulling over this thought process of shooting a small video there. Maybe I'll ask you only, we'll go one day together. And get 3 people to interpret that video. We get a movie maker to interpret it. We get a musician to interpret it. And we get an architect to interpret it. If we give them an opportunity to interpret it, what they would do with that. And then let us see, let's try and bring the 3 together of that same village scape.
Same thing.
Same village scape. We just shoot a small, maybe a 3-minute video and give it to them and see what they do. It's been there. It's as a project. I would love to do it sometime. But
I think we should do it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll
and
figure it out.
That actually goes into one is the technical aspect of it, right? The experiment that you're talking about. But also it talks a lot about the state of mind, the human psyche of the person who's viewing it, right? And like you said, in life, everything has 2 versions or multiple versions of it. It's how you perceive it and what is your state of mind that you are in. And that is something which I've experienced when I go to Cambodia. Like you said, like how you go to Tirthalli, I go to Cambodia. I've been there multiple times. And the same place, same location. I'm standing at the same point where I've been there. And I see the same frame differently.
Very true, because this is something I've written about also. Like, there is a certain fun in flying up a familiar road. But at the same time, some days I come in winter, it's much colder. The hands are not going as yet. The gear shifts are not yet there. The throttle is not yet opening. Sometimes I come in the rains. I'm taking the turns much more gingerly. Sometimes I'm there in summer and I'm literally flying up the same Ghat road. So I am different. The weather is different. The atmosphere is different. The Ghat road is different. Everything is different. Nothing is the same. Don't ever tell yourself, I've been there before. You have not. You have not been there before. Last time I came here, I was 32. Now I'm 59. There is a certain amount. My back is gone. My knees are gone. I'm not as tough as I used to be. Everything has changed.
Correct.
But at the same time, like you said, nothing has changed.
You also evolve as a person.
Absolutely.
Every time you go, you learn new lessons and new thought processes. And that has helped me. Right? I mean, it's been 20 years since I started photography, and the way I used to see back then to what I see today has changed. It has helped me to slow down. I was this hyperactive, okay, I need to do this, but now I think mentally I'm in a space where I've slowed down, I'm much more calmer, and that is what photography has done. And to a major extent, maybe I might not bike as much, but biking also kind of gives me that. It literally, whenever I'm in a very, very disturbed state of mind, I like to just get on the bike. Even if it's a short ride, doesn't matter. It gives. But since you were talking about the winding roads and different seasons and how each season, the way you react is different, right? I see many bikers who, when you go in a pack, there is a certain rule that you follow. There's a safety, this thing you have, the lead, the tail, this thing. But when you travel with a smaller group, the rules are different. One thing that I've seen is, unfortunately, not many people give safety a high priority when they're riding. What, according to you, should be the key precautions?
See, more than the key precautions, like you said right in the beginning, it's the fitness. See, biking, let's say biking, you're cycling, you're hiking, trekking, these are all activities which bring out the inside you. Because it pushes you. It pushes you to the limit and beyond. And who you are really surfaces at that time. It's all very nice to sit in a nice air-conditioned office with a good shirt and a nice cologne and everything is fun. Put that person outside on a motorcycle after 300 kilometers when the back is screaming, or on a hike when the knees are buckling, or on a cycle where the something else is happening. But so that's where the true person comes out. And I have seen some of the biggest, most bumbling idiots are the best bikers. And some of the most suave fellows are the biggest idiots.
Okay.
They get reduced to helplessness. Guru, I can't do this anymore. Hey, nanan bitpidappa. So many, I've heard that so many times. I can't go, Guru. Like, for instance, when I first time I bought one KTM 200cc Duke, which when I restarted riding, I went to Mysore with my friends to eat Mailari dosa. How far is Mysore? 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Landed up there, had dosa, when the exhaustion hit me. I thought I was fairly fit. I was gymming, I was playing golf, I was doing everything. I thought So when I landed up in Mysore, I could not get back onto the bike to come back to Bangalore.
How?
Wheeled my bike to my aunt's house. I told my friends, you go back. Wheeled my bike to my aunt's house, went to sleep for 2 hours. Got up, took a hot shower, and then rode back with great discomfort. And then realized, see, it could have gone either way. I could have said, this is not for me, and packed that bike and put it away. But that's not how I operate. I said, hey, Guru, this can't be. This can't beat me so easily. So the gym efforts redoubled, diet was looked at, though I might look slightly round like this, but today, from that 150 kilometers, I have come to 600 kilometers a day.
Wow.
And I can work after that. I have ridden from here to Goa and attended site meetings after that. So that has been the sea change in the last 8 years. Now, you see, safety comes after that. It is first awareness. Because when you start becoming unwell or unfit, you tend to start becoming careless. You don't cover your bases. So first you need to become fit. And you also must understand what kind of fitness. Each discipline needs its own type of fitness.
Correct.
It's not that if you are a runner, you can be a good biker. If you are a good biker, you can be a good hiker. No, you can't. Correct. Like, for instance, I can't hike. I can't trek to save my life. And I see some of those fellows, I look at them, what mad fellows. I'm sure they must be also looking at me and saying, what a mad fellow. So it's like that. So each discipline you have to understand. And today there's plenty of information as to how you can be. How you can be a fit biker, how you can be a fit cyclist. There's plenty of information. First that, then safety. Because only then you'll follow safety. You'll have the mental faculties to follow safety. And I keep telling people, see, people buy a 10 lakh bike or a 15 lakh bike and they'll be wearing a 5,000 rupee helmet. And if you tell them, look, this helmet costs 50,000, one deep breath comes, oh, 50,000. Arey Guru, you just spent 20 lakhs on a motorcycle.
Correct.
Spend 1 lakh rupees on a helmet, man, because that's the most important part of the body. I mean, your hands can break, your legs can break, you can recover. Your nut cracks, you're gone. You're gone. Then gear. But today, fortunately, I see in the last 8 years, there is a sea change in approach to safety. People buy good equipment, people buy good riding gear, good gloves, good shoes. All this has become part of the ethos. So that is okay. That's fairly well covered. And also, a lot of Indian companies have started making good
Yes.
which is affordable.
Yeah.
Like I was asking your person here, how much does that camera cost? So like that, you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to ride.
Correct. Very true.
You can get, there are very good Indian companies which are making good riding jackets. Like, I have been in 4 crashes. And each time I walked away without a scratch only because of the gear that
Gear
I
that
wore.
you have.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you at least when you spoke of the helmet, I'm talking about way back when I was in college. Baswangudi, BMS college. I was on an RX, not ripping. Suddenly, when one of the kids crossed the road, ran the brakes, skid, and I hit the divider straight on. I had a Nolan helmet. I'm talking about
And
93, 90,
that would
94.
that would have saved your bacon completely.
Absolutely. I mean, the helmet literally cracked. And Nolan helmets are known for their
Safety.
safety. I came out without a scratch, except for that concussion and this thing. If it wasn't for that helmet, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a very strong message I give to all young bikers. It doesn't matter if you can't buy a 500cc, buy a 400cc. But that other 100cc which you are compromising on, you go buy a good helmet. A good lid first, a good jacket, some good decent knee protection, a fairly reasonable pair of gloves, and don't wear sports shoes while you ride.
Yeah.
Because they are toe crushers. Your toes will break, your ankles will break,
Yes.
and those are all very sensitive joints.
So Harsha sir, so in the conversation so far, we've spoken about the influences in terms of architecture, travel, but and life experiences, and we also spoke about things like you never know where inspiration hits. One of the topics that you love talking is sharing with, invariably it comes in, is the kind of people that you meet, right? I mean, there was one particular chai shop that you spoke about where you've been going, you want to share that?
Yeah, you see, when I go to Ooty at least 4 times a year by bike. I've got an uncle who lives there, Mr. Nilkantan, and he has been a friend of our family from the 1980s. Dad designed buildings for his father in 1982, 83, he designed buildings, and we've been going to his house. Every now and then he'll call me up, hey, Yellappa, why have you not come, I say. So, and I hate taking the car because car is a nuisance up that hill. So many times I go alone to Ooty because it's damn difficult to tell people come to Ooty every time. So when I go through Masingudi, just outside Masingudi, there I forget the name of that small town. There is one small chai shop there, and there is a fellow called Abdul. I don't know his wife's name, but I call her Amma. So Abdul and Amma are there, and they very happily they greet me. One, you get these chili bhajis and masala chai.
Aha.
It's just a precursor to the cold of Ooty. I stop there. I make it a point to stop there every time. At least 4 times I meet them. Now they're almost like family. Kaisa hai saab? I get that when I get off the... He knows me, even though I'm fully clothed. He knows which bike is coming and he knows who the person is. And then, better. And then so he'll go inside. He'll actually bring out some other tea, not the tea which he normally makes. And he'll make some tea for me and he'll make one bhaji. And I'll have 2 bhajis and 1 cup of tea. And I push off. And sometimes he's not there, Amma is there. She also treats me with the same warmth.
Affection.
Then I reach Ooty, the Ooty club, there is a place called Lali Institute. So there is one Ramlingam. That fellow sees me. There is a single room. There are only 2 single rooms in Lali.
Okay.
They are almost 1/3 the price of a normal room. See, for me, budgets are everything. Because I don't believe in spending money. Money that is not necessarily needs to be spent. I will buy an expensive bike. But I'm very happy staying in smaller places. I'm very happy eating in smaller places. It doesn't have to be a star place. It doesn't have to have any ratings. It does not have to have any internet reviews. Very happy. The places that I eat, most people won't even know of. The places that I go to, most people have no idea that they're there. But I'm very happy doing things like that. And I find that there is a certain peace in doing that also.
Correct.
Everybody says, no, it's too crowded. But honestly, in that crowd, there is a peace. Like next to Lali Institute, there is a Jamuna Mess. It's in a small bylane. It's called Food Street. Turn left. You won't see it unless you know that it's there. You have to walk into one small bylane. Again, there's one elderly Tamilian couple who run that place. He knows me. One big salute. Hot pongal, vade, nice masala dosa, everything, puris. Sir, I need a special puri irukku, sir. You will come and put one puri on my plate.
No, what you said about these places is so true. Like literally, I'm talking about a week ago, we had gone to Hampi with family. And we were staying on the other side, Gangavati side. And so I was generally asking people like any recommendation. Like, Anna, you're going with family, you might have, there are these cafes. I said, no. Tell me where the food is good. There was this place that was recommended, which is not even a military hotel. It was basically a house, maybe as big as this. One person managing it. Oh my God. The fish and the chicken there.
You must be talking about Ashok Kanawali.
No, it was... Savaji Kanwali.
Savji, yes. Ashok Savji.
Ashok Savaji.
Savji,
That's
yes.
the one.
That's my place in Hampi.
Right? I mean, the
Yes.
food.
Yes.
My wife, who doesn't eat fish, gobbled up one whole plate.
Savji, not
Savji.
Kanawali. Savji.
Savaji. And the food, of course, is amazing, but the way he treats you, the way he greets you,
It's a very one-on-one.
it's a very
One-on-one. And see, this is another thing I tell my friends when we travel. Like I travel through Maharashtra, I travel through Andhra, through Tamil Nadu. We are all looking for idli, vada, dosa. Comfort food. Everywhere, they to coin a term, mulla ke dod masjid tak.
Correct.
That's how most people are wired. They don't want to go one step beyond that. Eat the poha, eat the susla, eat the savji. No, we don't want to. Hey. One day, Baba.
I guess the more, one is not that they don't want to experiment, they're more worried about what will happen to my stomach.
Nothing will happen.
Exactly.
Nothing will happen. You will sit in the 5-star and eat the rubbish that they give you.
You don't know where it's been
You
cooked.
don't know where it's been cooked. Some sushi and things like that they give you and you will eat it and then you will take photographs of it and tell the whole world about it. But you don't want to. And the other thing which I keep telling people, which I also do, I what you call practice, support the local people. Go and give them a little business. Your 2 rupees will make his life better. And the most important thing, most people go cut a packet of Lays, throw the packet and come away.
Come on, right there.
Yes. One is you are supporting Lays, which is a corporation, probably not from our country.
Not even from here.
Not from our country. And secondly, you are polluting the place.
Correct.
Instead of that, some Manjunath will be standing there and selling tomato bale. Eat that.
That will taste better.
Not only will it taste better, he doesn't generate waste.
Yeah.
He gives it to you in a bit of newspaper, which degenerates. That plastic cover which you throw is there for the next 3 centuries.
Very true.
But we come back and we sit and talk about all these things in nice forums and parties. We talk. But when you go and practice, you open a bottle of water. Plastic bottle. Carry your own flask. Fill up water from and drink it. No, we don't. We just don't. Like in America, you get this H1N1 visa. So I call these fellows H1M1 visa.
Okay.
ಹೇಳೋದೊಂದು ಮಾಡೋದೊಂದು.
H1M1. I'm going to steal that line.
These are all the H1M1 visa holders. In Bangalore, we say something. When we go out to Malavalli, we do something else. So, do what you, at least live to the philosophies that you talk about.
At least to an extent.
To some extent.
Correct.
Don't cut a Lay's packet. Please take Manjunath's tomato bale. I'm a very strong believer in that. Carry your own flask.
Yeah.
Fill water in that in a safe place and drink that water.
Correct.
Don't open Bisleri bottles all the time. Don't throw those. Please don't be the source of generation of waste. Is another very important thing a biker's message should be. But we finish that bottle like this and we are gone. But that bottle will sit there for the next 200 years.
Correct.
Some cow will eat it, some tiger will eat it. It will cut its intestines. There are so many other implications which we don't want to talk about. We don't want to think about.
We just want to kind of bury it under the car.
Like just brush it away. No, these are all things that we have to take. We have to do small things, but they make a difference. Like the other day, I was looking at I was studying and reading about beavers. Beavers are the original architects of nature. You see, there are small streams. If you see in America, places like that, there are small streams. So the beavers go about building small check dams.
Correct.
Now these check dams, the beavers build it to be able to eat fish which come and stop there. It creates a small pool. But then the amount of good things that it's doing, you see, it kills sedimentation. It holds back the silt. It purifies the rivers.
Correct.
Downstream, the water which comes after a beaver's dam is very pure because the dam has held, and the dam is a porous dam. It's made out of stones and
Wood.
wood. So the water that flows through that, all the impurities are caught in that.
Oh, yeah.
So I ask people, please be that beaver. Through your actions, you benefit, but others will also benefit. So if people want to study how nature purifies herself, you study the beavers.
And there's so much to be learned from nature.
Yes. Nature purifies itself. I'll tell you, after COVID, the first ride we took, there is one bridge outside Kalasa on the Bhadra River. And I have been going there in the last maybe 50 years. I've gone there at least 26, 27 times. I've been on that bridge, especially after the rains. Every time you go there, the water is brown, flowing under the stream in the river. This immediately after COVID, another friend and I, we were like two fellows let out of jail, got onto the bike and went straight for that bridge. We were going to Hornadu. He's a very religious fellow, so he wanted to go to the temple. So there is one road which goes to Kalasa. You come from Balevannur, one road which goes to Kalasa and one road which climbs up to Hornadu. Hornadu is about 6 kilometers from there. So I told him, you go ahead. I just want to go to that bridge and come. So he took the right turn and went up. I went to the bridge. I had tears in my eyes. The water was crystal clear green.
Wow.
1 year of COVID and nature has healed herself. I got down. Normally I stand on the bridge, look this side, look that side, take my photographs and come out. This time I stopped. I walked all the way down to the river, took water from the river like this, put it on myself. He was praying to God in Hornadu. I was praying to God on the river.
Beautiful.
I was so happy to see that river so pure. You could just drink it. And earlier when we used to come, you couldn't even see your hands. It was so muddy. 1 year, if you leave nature alone, she will heal. Things like this, if we just leave things alone, they will. We are always busy doing this. Just not leaving.
Onlyfying everywhere.
Everything we want to put our hands in the middle and keep on hurting it.
Going back to that experience, when you went down to the stream, and I'm sure you would have had similar experience everywhere, especially in nature, when the silence hits, there is this rhythm, there is this music.
Very much.
Right? And being someone who loves music, how would you draw parallels to that?
You see, if you think of the music that you grew up to, like for instance from that movie Belli Moda, Moodala Maneya, Muttina Neerina, Yarakava Hoida, Nunnane Yarakava Hoida, Bagilu Teredu, Belaku Haridu, Jagavella Toida, Devanu Jagavella Toida. So, nature is there with you all the time. It's just that you have become oblivious to it.
Harsha sir, for the benefit of the listeners, if you can translate that for someone who doesn't understand Kannada.
Mudala Maneya means the door towards the house towards the east. Muttina Neerina, that means the dewdrops. Yarakava Hoida means he has come and poured it on me. Nunnane Yarakava Hoida means he's poured it on me beautifully. Bagilu Teredu, he has opened the door. Belaku Haridu, he has let the eastern sun in. Jagavella Toida. He washed the entire world. Devanu Jagavella Toida. God has come and washed the entire world.
Beautiful.
So, if you look at your own literature, if you look back at what is there in the 60s, 70s, 80s, invariably every movie had one song which referred to nature. We have just become, we have closed our ears.
Yes. So, I mean, like you said, you don't have to be a musician. You don't have to.
Oh no, not at
You
all.
just-
Not at all. Not at all.
You just need a silent mind and an open
You
mind
need an open mind. You need an open mind.
to experience that.
So many beautiful Hindi songs, so many beautiful Kannada songs. I'm sure in Tamil also, I'm not that conversant with Tamil literature or Malayalam literature. They would have also called upon nature and people profess love so beautifully through nature.
Any examples?
I'm trying to recollect. Recently, I was talking to my friend about one more song. It'll come. And when it comes, I'll come. I'll get it for you.
Yeah. I mean, and so that part of the way you enjoy music, the reason why I'm bringing this is that you also have your Baitaks at home. You're known for that, right? And you love music, and which is evident with your earlier. Just before we started the conversation, you were talking about your collection of LPs, records. I've been to some of the sittings at your house and they're so intimate and so beautiful.
See, I have a theory as far as that is concerned, and some of my friends do agree with it. Once there is a musician friend of mine who comes from Boston, Phil Scarf. He's a saxophonist.
Okay.
He is a world-class jazzman, but has delved into the world of Hindustani classical music for the last 27, 28 years. And in the last 6, 7 years, he stays with me. He comes to Bangalore for about a week or 10 days, and he stays with me, and he performs all over Bangalore, and then he goes back as part of his India tour. His wife is from Pune. So the first time he came, he said, "Harsha, I must somehow pay you back." I said, "Look, Phil, you're a friend. Now you've become a friend. I can't take money from friends. You're my guest." Okay. No, but it'll be very difficult. I said, "Then okay, we'll have a quid pro quo. You give me one concert at home." He says, "With pleasure." So the first time you had come to that house in Defense Colony, first time he performed at home, it went on, he said, 45 minutes, 2 sets. The performance went on for about 3 hours. And nobody moved. And it was pure, hardcore, pure Hindustani classical music. And performance got over. And as you know, after the performance, I make sure that everybody has a good meal.
Correct.
So everybody adjourned for the meal. But Phil was sitting there. So I said, "Phil, it's over. Come, let's go have dinner." He says, "Harsha, today my music went somewhere. I'm trying to figure out how to go there the next time."
Wow.
I was blown. Then I realized that's the secret for Baitaks.
Correct.
There is a synergy between the musician and the audience. Each one feeds off each other's energy. And the luckiest man is the one who lives in the middle of that exchange.
Very true.
So I try very hard. And the people who I invite are also people who will respect that. Not the fellows who will come and hold a glass of whiskey and stand there and talk while this man is... That is not music.
No.
That is entertainment.
Correct.
Whereas this is true music.
Yeah. And I've seen these Baitaks that you have, people are literally sitting on the floor. And it is, like you said, pure ecstasy, pure music, and the purity of interaction, the energy that they feed off.
Yes.
And that automatically is evident because when you walk out, usually after a concert or something, when you walk out, but what I've observed is everyone sits, they have the food, but it's still mellow, very silent because they are still in the zone.
Because you have gone to one place. It takes 3-4 hours to come back. And that's the whole point of that concert. And that's why it's not as if, his brother is there, he can play the guitar, come and play. No, I will not. That. Okay, I will listen to him. You can come home, I'll give you a good meal, you can sit down and I will listen and play and I'll sing along with you. That's a different kind of music. But these are masters. Dr. Prakash Sontake, let's say Amar Jagdish, Phil Scarf, Sai Tejas Chandrasekhar, or if you take Samir Rao, or if you take Vasudev Prabhu, who plays the flute. In the earlier days, he used to play the mouth organ. Then you take Sangeeta, who's part of that Midnight Poppies. These are all masters. Joe Anthony, these are really good musicians. And they also enjoy being there.
Correct.
Jerry Machado. How can I forget my good friend Jerry Machado?
Jerry.
He says, Harsha, I am so happy to play here.
True.
It's very difficult for us musicians to find an atmosphere like this to play. We yearn for this. And I said, yes, that's the whole point of doing it.
And so, would you attribute this, creating the space for musicians, would you attribute that for your growing up? Because old Bangalore, we used to have quite a few
I attribute that to my architecture.
Okay.
See, even architecture should be like that. Most people say architecture is about space. It's not. It's about an experience. Even in the smallest of spaces, people find happiness. And in the most luxurious spaces, they are not happy. So it's about how you go about putting together that experience to that person. The room is not as important as the person who's using it.
Correct.
So like that, I can get the London orchestra, London, whatever, the Victoria, the biggest theatre, but the music is not going to be good.
If
You come and sit in my house, the music will be fabulous. It's not a theatre, but it's a space. It's a space where interaction is taking place between the musician and the audience. Like that, even architecture is about the interaction between, let's say, the schools that we design. It's an interaction between the teacher and the student. The space that I design only facilitates that.
So when you talk about design and facilitation, and it also talks about the flow of energy,
Yes, very much.
right? I mean, flow of energy, one could be the science part of it. Then you also look at the natural element, natural light, the way you have the cross ventilation, which going back to the earlier conversation where you're talking about Bijapur and, this thing. So that energy does play a role in
Very
your
much.
design. It has to play a role.
Like, for instance, I got a note from a young architect. He came to my office because his college had sent a group of students to talk about campus design. So he had come as part of that, went away, we had a chat, and usually I gave all the spiel that I normally give, and he went away. Some 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, on the day of Guru Purnima, I get a message from this boy, because I was part of some WhatsApp group which was there for a brief while. So he found my number, he sent me a message. He said, "Sir, when I was in my 7th standard in a school," I won't name the school, "when I was in my 7th standard in that school, you had come there. And had I known you were the architect at that time, I would have held your hand and cried." So I said, "Why?" "No, sir. I used to be at loggerheads with my teachers. I used to be at loggerheads with my friends. The campus befriended me. I have spent so much of nice time in the courtyards, under the trees, in the jungles, that it actually gave me the confidence to go forward again in life." Wow. And there is no point in taking the boy's name or the school's name, but I said, this is what in Kannada we call it, this is tapasya. As an architect, this is the tapasya which I have done, and this is the, maybe the boy is being dramatic,
No, but he spoke his heart.
but he spoke his heart. So I said, so if you akin the music performance that you heard at my house, it's like that.
So people talk about legacies, right? Or I got to leave this behind so that I'll be remembered, right? But according to me, what you just described is your legacy.
Yeah, very much, very much.
There are times where I would have done a shoot some 20 years back or 15 years back. and I would meet the family. The kid would have been on tiny little thing when I did the shoot, and today now he or she is a teenager.
True.
And the way I get introduced to them would be like, oh, you see, this is the uncle who took your picture. The kid will not remember your name,
But he'll remember the picture.
he or she will remember the picture.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, that's how I would want to be remembered. Names will come and go, but the work and the impact, the emotion that you would have created will last much longer
very,
than.
very true. Very true.
And that's how, if you see, even you look at the art, the architecture, the temples, the mosques. Nobody remembers who designed it.
Nobody.
Very few. Maybe, someone who's really interested.
No, nobody. They'll remember the king who built it.
Exactly.
But after that, who the Vastu Shilpi or the Karigar, nobody knows who they are. They're all dead and gone.
But their work.
Like, for instance, the schools that we design, they will stand long after I'm dead and gone. But who will remember me? Nobody will remember me. And if you start working, thinking that you'll be remembered, you have lost the plot. You have lost the plot. You do your work at that point in time with the honesty that it requires, and you carry on.
Carry on. So, Harsha sir, at this point, we'll just take a quick break because, the conversation so far has been about travel, biking, experiences in life. I just want to I want us to leave our listeners with that thought, and we'll come back with the next episode where we will be diving a little bit more into.
When my father started out in 69, I don't think he had a clue that in 2025 I'll still be around. They were doing ad films with Amitabh Bachchan. Bachchan would come 5 minutes before the shoot. And don't expect the donkeys to win. These 90 fellows will pay for those 30 fellows' education. When I was young, Vajramuni uncle would tell me, hey, Rajkumar, ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸೋದು ನಾನು ಅವನ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ. So he will take out one box and say, sir, for this money, this is the phone I can give you. And don't waste time on things for which you're not being paid.
So, till then, keep your mojo alive.